I'm Music Man Miles of the Funky Soul Travelers, and Root Down Sound System and Breakestra. And running down some of the history here, going back, I guess, 11 years to 2000, myself and DJ Egon, who at that time was working with pretty young Stones Throw Records at that point. Egon joined up just around the same time, just a little after Breakestra connected with Stones Throw Records to put a single out, and just around the same time I was working on a Breakestra record. The first Breakestra release was Stones Throw. Peanut Butter Wolf brought in Egon, and Egon moved out to the West Coast, and he kind of just oversaw the marketing and the release of the Breakestra Live Mix Part 2, that whole funk, little mega mix live release we did. And so me and Egon connected on the music, and Egon was constantly educating me. Just I'd never been around anybody who was that up, or at least was that up and willing to share. I just was very lucky to be around him and Cut Chemist.
I've known Miles for years, and he started doing clubs around LA. Started with the Breaks. From the Breaks became the Root Down, and then the Root Down became so big that he decided to do a subsidiary club. So it was almost like the Root Down sound was like so much for just one venue. So he decided to do a club at Rodolfo's in LA called At the Solis.
Basically, I coaxed Egon into agreeing to be a part of and come spin at something I was going to start. I was going to find a venue, and we came up with an idea to call it the Solis,
which was more aimed at deep funk rather than the variety that they play at the Root Down. So he asked people like deep collectors like me, Egon, to come down and spin at that. And then after that ended, it moved to a venue in Hollywood called Star Shoes. And then that's when I became an unannounced resident DJ.
Right in the heart of that whole Hollywood Cahuenga scene. This place called Star Shoes just opened up, and this really down cat named Johnny Nixon, really good cat. He was totally open and willing to try it out. Gave us a shot, was supportive, let us do our thing, and it was great.
It became like the hub for like heads, like really deep heads. But at the same time, it was like a big bridge and tone crowd coming in because it was free, and it was on Hollywood Boulevard in Cahuenga. So people that were coming to like party in Hollywood, bridge and tone crowd that couldn't get into like CineSpace or whatever was around at the time, came to Star Shoes because it's like Andre, the coolest door guy to the stars, was like, come on in here, this is free. And they're playing like really great music. Cut Chemist is here. Oh shit, Cut Chemist is here. He let the cat out. And so, but it wasn't like Cut Chemist playing hits or Egon playing hits. It was like, no, we were experimenting with different type of stuff. It wasn't just deep funk. It was like Ethiopian soul, psychedelic, Ghanaian, salsa, cumbia, and funk, and old school hip hop, and obscure like cosmic disco, twisted, dusted psychedelia, whatever we wanted to play.
Yeah, 7 years straight there, just about, and we played from the beginning. We're probably like in the first week or two of them being open until their very last night, which Egon brought a pickaxe to on the very last night of Funky Soul and took down part of the wall, and it was a momentous occasion for sure. And we moved Funky Soul to another spot in a different part of town, and it was good. We had a good couple of years. There was no problems with that particular venue, and Egon got kind of busy just around the same time. He really got caught up with doing so much for his own label, Now Again Records. So caught up in that, it was the time when he had to step out. And fortunately, just around that same time, I guess 2007 or 2008, DJ Clifton, he jumped in and joined in. He joined just at the end of when Egon was there, and he started helping us out on the night as one of the residents, along with myself. And basically, we had we did our thing at Jimmy's, and when that thing had to end there, we moved on to the Echo, who was very gracious and welcomed us to their spot, and we've been there at the Echo for I guess now 3 years, going on 3 years, but it was a good move. It's the first place that we've been where actually live bands, we can have live bands as well, and it's more like a dance hall space, which is great for a party. It's more natural for people to dance. And the other thing that's great is there's a space for b-boys, b-girls to rock, which are also that's a fundamental part of funky soul. That element, that's like part of the source of that culture. It's part of the inspiration for me as a DJ originally, and so it's great that there's a whole large area where they can rock and do their thing, and also folks who just want to come and do whatever, and they're a little more just going to do their own thing along with everybody else, and it's a really comfortable space there. I've always felt inspired and a necessity to bring what is needed to folks in LA, and that's one of the reasons why I've always liked and always preferred to have funky soul be a free party in Los Angeles, just to make it that much easier for people to just stumble in, and then get their head cracked open. Even if it's a couple days later, or a week later, or 2 weeks later, they realize that they're missing something that they might have gotten from the sounds of that party.
It was the first club I've ever known that I could play what I truly wanted to hear and get away with it on the dance floor. So that kept me coming back. I mean, I'd fly in from gigs with J5 just to do that. I got to be at Star Shoes. And Egon would just be busting like crazy shit. Miles would be doing crazy stuff. I mean, it was just the best residency club I've ever been a part of.
Now, funky soul is basically it's a dance party where we celebrate late 60s, even some early, it doesn't even necessarily have to be late 60s, but we celebrate mostly 60s to early 70s based funk soul music, whether it's instrumental or vocal tunes, and music from all of America on down to as far down as Brazil, and Cuba, Puerto Rico, and Africa, and because all those things they all have African roots in common. All this music, that's it. But if it's funky and it moves people on a dance floor, that's what works at funky soul. And vinyl. That's the foundation element too. Yeah, and as far as our guest DJs go, we first off we've got all our resident Los Angeles rotating cats, and that's I like to refer to them as the Soul Travelers, and that's Greg Belson, Sol Marcosa, Thomas Cady, Scott Craig, Jackie Hoodoo, and we got my man Jesse Chires, who in addition to DJing also designs all the funky soul flyers, all the logos, and Jesse Chires has also been turning me and Clifton on the funk sounds for many years. He's got a deep knowledge and great ear. He's a good cat, a big part of funky soul. And then of course there's DJ Chico out in the Funk Yard patio doing his thing, and before him was a cat named Nick, Unconventional Science, respect to him. And LA's, is still, it goes on and on, man. There's a lot of residents like Tom Chastain and Boss Harmony, the Dub Club, who definitely got funk sounds, and DJ Frame, DJ Renato, Andy Cobb, and J-Rock, Danny Holloway, DJ Abel, Jeremy Soul, Masa spun a few times, and DJ Newmark, and Adrian Young. That's right, Adrian Young's come through. And last but not least is the Root Down Sound System. And those DJs, that's of course in addition to myself, and that's DJ Dusk, who rocked a few times. Respect and rest in peace to my brother each and every time. And then there's DJ Slowpoke, DJ Irvin Arana, Expo, and DJ Jedi, last but not least. As far as the national and worldwide DJs, we've had Quantic come through, and DJ Small Change, and Chairman Mao, Conor Namir, all from NY, and DJ Shadow, and Scheme Richards out of Philly with his Hot Peas and Butter Party, and the Mero Group out of Chicago, DJ Sure Shot, San Francisco, Seattle, and last but not least, Kev Darge out of London, UK. I've had a whole bunch of family come through, and it's great to know there's that many folks with the sounds, especially just even in the States. You know, there's so many folks, and we haven't even been able to bring all the guests we'd like to have come through. So we'll look forward to that. And it's just a blessing having all the different people that are passionate about the music as well. And you know, if there's anybody I left out, respect due, and no offense. But yeah, that's it.
11-year anniversary for Funky Soul. I can't believe it's been that long. But it's here at the Echo and it's still going strong. And a lot of people are grooving to Turkish and funk and psychedelic music just like they were back in 2005 or 4, 3, 2, 1.
More.